everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hi.
I'm Roy Kennedy.
And I'm Mike Felicio.
Welcome to the 12 Games of Christmas series, where we talk about games that we think you can buy for other people for Christmas, or yourself or whoever. This time we're talking about family games. Now, this is kind of an oddly named category. It's a great category to play with families, but these also could be called casual games, or games that pretty much anybody can get into. You know, someone who doesn't want to play a heavier strategic game, this might be for them, but that doesn't mean these games don't have strategy.
Right. This is absolutely one of my favorite categories. I like the approachability. I think this is the kind of category that bridges gaps, and that's what I love about it. You can definitely bring people with differing experiences to the table, both in gaming experiences and otherwise, and everybody can have a great time together. That's what I love about these so-called family games.
All righty. Well, with that being said,
go ahead, Tom.
No, Mike, you're not part of this family.
I was just going to say that to me, these are the games that came to mind, like your first memories of playing, you know, in and around your friends and family. These are the games that really form those first memories. I like these kind of games.
For sure.
All righty. Well, with that being said, let's go to Roy.
So let's kick this off with Back to the Future Back in Time. This game is cooperative, but it feels like you're playing in that Back to the Future movie where you're trying to keep everything from falling apart, trying to put all the different things back in the right places so that the timeline's not messed up. But it's also very much an easy game to play with the family because you can roll those dice and have fun working together. So you can play with younger kids or older adults that remember the movies and really enjoy it as well. So Back to the Future Back in Time is a great game to play with your family.
My first pick for family games here is a game called Unmatched, Cobble and Fog. Now, Unmatched has a bunch of different games, a bunch of different editions, let's say. Cobble and Fog has a great theme as well. It's got 4 characters in there. You got the Invisible Man and Dracula and Sherlock Holmes, right? I mean, these fantastic characters. And what you're doing is fighting these people against one another with a deck of cards. It is immersive. It is... can be by turns tense and silly and uproarious and thoughtful. I love the emotional interest and sort of, you know, captivity that this game brings to the table. I just love it so much. And this is a great set. So if you haven't tried it, or you have and you want more, or you want to introduce somebody to it, Unmatched, Cobble and Fog is where I would say jump in with both feet.
My first family game is Marvel United. Marvel United is a great choice if you have somebody on your list that likes the Marvel Universe, the superheroes and the villains. And it's a cooperative game as well, which is one where you are playing with your friends around the table, trying to defeat a common enemy. You're not trying to compete against each other. And so in Marvel United, you're going to take on the role of one of the iconic Marvel heroes, and you're going to face off against one of those equally iconic Marvel villains. And you're doing this through playing cards, and you're trying to play cards that will help your other people around the table do well. You're playing off of each other cards so that you build up better and better actions. It's a really fun game. It has a really nice look to it. It's a relatively small box game that packs a lot of punch. That is Marvel United.
I do love the Marvel Universe, but now we're dropping into a game that's really simple and is just about shapes. You like Tetris, you'll probably like Project L. One of the things about Project L is that it's a very simple game. You are simply collecting little plastic pieces of shapes and then upgrading them into larger Tetris-type shapes. You then will take those and place those on little boards, trying to fill those boards up. This isn't a puzzle game, it's more of an efficiency game, but it's really easy because you have just a few actions on your turn. Grab some new pieces, take a puzzle board, upgrade your pieces, change your pieces, or place your pieces into the board. When you mix that with really high quality components, there's something just very satisfying about taking these plastic pieces and putting them in the boards and filling them up, and you're just like, yeah, I did that. It just works together in a really good way. Also really easy, but offers some strategy along the way. It's a lot of fun, looks beautiful, highly recommend it. Project L.
All right, my next one here is Space Base. This is an exciting game because you're building your space base, trying to get different things, and you're rolling dice trying to get money and points, and you're racing to a certain number of points, but you kind of have to build up your little space base engine there. And as you get different ships out, the different numbers on dice are going to do different things for you to allow you to get resources or points or cap your minimum number of resources and things like that. There's even win the game conditions that you can get. But the cool thing about this game is no matter whose turn it is, whatever they roll, you can still trigger stuff on your board on your turn. So it keeps you active the entire game and is a simple, easy game to play with families.
Endangered is my second pick here. This is a game, a cooperative game in which you are trying to, well, keep a species of animal from being endangered, right? And you are going to be cooperating, rolling dice, using those dice to take actions on these cards that you yourselves, the players, are adding to the board. So you build the places where you can go with your dice. Very cool idea. You are manipulating that the animals don't become overwhelmed by environmental factors or by encroaching humans, what have you. It's very interesting. It's got a couple of different animals right out of the box. They have more out and coming soon. So if you get hooked, you can get more. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was dynamic. It was engaging. It felt different than a lot of other cooperative games, of which there are a lot. So I recommend it. Endangered. It's a good one.
Okay, my next family game is a beautiful game with some gorgeous art and fantastic components. This is called Trekking the World. If you have somebody on your list that has played Ticket to Ride, one of the most popular modern board games, and is maybe looking for something else, Trekking the World is a great option for them because it has a similar feel where you are moving around a board and you're playing a series of cards almost in a rummy style, much like Ticket to Ride does, where you are trying to visit locations, get souvenirs, and you're trying to fulfill little objectives. It's a very simple game, very easy to teach, but it has such a wide appeal because it has so many of the iconic locations around the world. Anybody who likes to travel, anybody who likes to watch travel shows, this could be a game that would appeal to them very much. That is Trekking the World.
Sometimes you want a game to just be fast, and so for that we have 5-minute mystery. Actually, the game could be 8 minutes or whatever. There's different scenarios that you're playing where there's a time limit. Usually once you get into the main game, it's 5 minutes. And to do that, you are working together to figure out who the criminal is out of a pile of suspects. And you do that almost in a guess who style way where you're eliminating them based on what hat they're wearing, if they are holding an umbrella, etc. But to do that, everyone is looking at a card, looking for differences. Once you solve this card here, you're looking for things on the card, finding hidden objects on the card. Once you find those and you key in the right combination, revealing that combination, you then will find out one positive or negative feature about your suspect, eliminating these cards from your hands. This is a cooperative game. Everyone's working together, and it's a frenzied game. This company already came out with 5-Minute Marvel and 5-Minute Dungeon. This one here is very different, but I found that in my family, with my kids and me, we had a lot of fun doing this one. There's a lot of frenzied shouting, a lot of sharp eyes looking for the differences here, and then deduction, and it's all done really quickly. And you'll probably never play this 5 minutes because you'll want to play it more and more. You know, you can play it many, many different times with different suspects and different ways to play it. Lots of fun. That's 5-Minute Mystery.
All right, my next one here is a super simple worker placement game, and that is the Fallout Shelter board game. So in this game, you're all different people from the shelter trying to go different places, gaining food and energy and water, and it's an exciting game because there's also monsters that can come out that you can roll the die against, but you're all trying to build the shelter bigger and bigger, and whoever has the most happiness at the end of the game wins by building out all these different places and making your different workers happy. It's crazy how well this game works, and it's a very simple worker placement game, but the Fallout Shelter theme comes through, and it just feels like it's a good, simple game that you can play with kids or play with adults, and it has that Fallout Shelter theme. And that is Fallout Shelter.
My final pick for family games is Cóatl, in which you are going to be building these giant Cóatl, or these giant snakes, from fantastic, astonishing plastic pieces that you are drafting and then building into these snakes. You can articulate the thing, you know, a long plastic snake, you can even articulate it. You are building these, you are assigning cards to them to score based on the length of the Cóatl, the pattern of the colors. If you love tactical games, you love the idea of building those patterns, of drafting, of competing with the other players for the cards available out there, you are really going to like this one. It's got a beautiful Aztec theme, gorgeous illustrations, and those pieces, I'm telling you, they are stunning. Cóatl is a good one to put your eye on. You're going to love it.
Okay, my final family game is now my go-to cooperative game for people when I'm trying to introduce them to this type of game, and that is Horrified. Horrified is based off of the classic Universal Monsters intellectual property. So you've got Frankenstein and the werewolf and the mummy and the invisible man, and it's a really, really, really fun game where you and your friends around the table are trying to compete against these universal monsters that are causing you problems, and you're trying to complete a series of challenges, mostly through what is called a pick up and deliver mechanic, where you're trying to pick up things from one area, deliver them to another area to complete a series of challenges. It's really nice because the different monsters played slightly differently, and so you can have a very variable experience depending on the number of monsters you play against, the type of monsters you play against. It also scales really well difficulty-wise. So if you're playing with younger kids, you can play with fewer monsters. If you're playing with more adults and you want more of a challenge, you can play with more monsters, and some of them are more complex than others. So it's a really, really nice game. This is Horrified.
So we're jumping now from monsters to wolves. And this isn't a game from Bicycle, who makes the best playing cards in the world. This game's called the Alpha. In this, you are running a pack of wolves, and you are placing those wolves trying to take down different animals. There's all kinds of prey out there, and you're putting them out there. But most of these animals can't be taken down by yourselves. You may have to work together with other people, but it's the biggest pack that brings it in. And so there's this constant back and forth. I'm going to go for this, I'm going to go for that, and then you throw in a bit of luck. You can always go and try and steal some sheep from the local rancher, but he might shoot your wolf and then you lose that wolf for the rest of the game. You can go for small prey, but that's fewer points, or go for the larger prey, which may end up not having that much meat on it after all. This is a really simple game of area control where you're putting wolves out and trying to have the most in different sections, and it's fast, it's simple, and it works for larger groups. 6 people could play this game, and it's a lot of fun. You'll end up yelling at everybody else, but isn't that what makes a great family game? I really like this one. Good quality components, a fun theme, an interesting theme. There's not many games about packs of wolves. The Alpha. Very recommended.
All right, we're back. I cut Mike off earlier. Mike, we'll let you start here. Do you love families? Okay, thank you. All right.
The thing I love about these family games is that you can play them with younger kids and then also play them with grandmas and things like that, or just the whole family and get everybody involved. So I always have a blast playing these style of games, and it's great for a Christmas gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, folks. I hope these give you some good ideas of things to check out, and go get these. Buy 10 of each. Give them to everyone on your list. Mm-hmm. Anyway, oh, maybe. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Roy Kennedy.
And I'm Mike DeLisio.
Have fun with your family.